Welcome to this week's pedal shootout. We've got two pedals from Matthews Effects, the Cartographer, which is a medium gain overdrive with parametric EQ section, and the Architect, which is a clunkalone with a 3-band EQ, which is actually a Baxandall tone stack with some kind of modified mid-range control. Okay, here is my clean sound. First thing you notice there is with everything at midnight, we actually had a drop in overall level in the germanium setting. It says 3 clipping options: germanium, which is most similar to the original Klon Centaur. There's a silicon setting in the top and then a diode lift option in the middle. So to sort of demonstrate the difference in those, I'm going to turn the gain up to about 3 o'clock. We'll hear how the germanium sounds. Okay, here's silicon. Quite a bit less compressed, and which gives it a higher overall level. Here's diode lift, which is no clipping at all. Okay, then we've got, and obviously you can get quite a bit of gain out of this thing. Let's turn, you heard that change quite a bit. Let's hear what, if we turn the gain down a little bit, we'll put both of them at about 130. Let's turn the bass up a little bit. Turn that back down and give us actually a little bit of mid and high boost. If we do just a mid boost by itself, sounds about like what you'd expect it to. Another sort of popular setting with Centaur type pedals is to turn the gain down to about 9 o'clock. Got the volume up a little bit here. Here it kind of fattens things up a little bit over here's the clean tone. So overall, a lot of different options. Let's check out the Cartographer now. Try not to knock over my little soda can there. type of overdrive this is. It's not really based on another type of overdrive or anything. But if we give it a little bit more gain, it has quite a bit of range gain-wise. You can hear it starting to feed back a little bit. Okay, the EQ section on this is parametric EQ, which means that instead of just adjusting the level of a bass or a treble or a mid knob, you're actually adjusting the frequency and the amplitude of the filter. So it lets you do things. It lets you sort of fine-tune your EQ in one sense. I mean, it's limiting in one sense because all you're doing is either boosting or cutting sort of a single frequency band. But in some ways it's really nice, especially in my experience with playing with a band. It's easy to sort of find where you fit in the mix. So let's try a boost now. You can tell that's a fairly narrow mid hump there. It's fairly high amplitude wise. Let's get a little bit of a bass boost. Let's turn the frequency down even more. So this knob here on the left is the frequency. So this is as low as it'll go frequency wise. To do a bass cut, we could turn the amplitude down and leave it down at this low frequency here. Let's say we wanted to do a mid cut. And again, you heard that it was pretty narrow before. I don't know if you could sort of tell that from listening to it. High cut. So one thing that's kind of cool you can do with this, if we're looking to induce a little bit of feedback maybe. Volume up a little bit. Myself, I like pretty bass heavy distortion like this. But then if you're playing with a band, you're kind of stepping all over the toes of the bassist when you're all the way down there. So that's another thing that's nice about this. So I'll usually be boosting when I use a pedal like this or the Harbinger or any other pedal with a parametric EQ. And then if I can tell I'm not really sticking out in the mix, not that you need to, stick out like a sore thumb at all times, but if you want to be heard and you aren't being heard, you can sort of sort of find where you fit the best. This can get pretty high gain, honestly. So it's got, it's kind of, you can push the EQ to the extreme in ways that you can't necessarily do with traditional EQ. For example, with a 3-band EQ like on the Architect, you can boost the bass all you want, but it's ultimately just a shelf, and so it's boosting a really wide range of frequencies, where this is more of a notch, and it just lets you, in some ways, it's a very specific type of EQ, but in my experience, it can be a lot more useful than a 3-band EQ. So, and then we'll see what this sounds like with a little bit lower gain drive. Certainly not as, quote-unquote transparent as the Architect, even at low settings. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Let us know what you think. We'll be voting in the Facebook group. So go on over there and cast your vote.